Assalamualaikum everybody. Selamat datang ke Usrah Usahawan.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hai, malam ni boleh dek kan ni orang bekerja-kerja tengok Olimpik. So yang bermulanya sesi malam ni ialah 5 orang. Which is okay. Which is okay. Baik mula daripada tak mula. Kalau pun tak ada siapa pun, saya dengan tuan saya je duk sembang lah. So tuan-tuan perempuan boleh tengok recording kemudian. So kepada mereka yang datang, thank you for coming. Azrul, Hakim, Asma, thank you. Terima kasih banyak-banyak kerana datang. Dan saya doa dan harapkan anda semua banyak tanya soalan kepada Hafi. Dan Hafi, Hafi perlukan soalan anda. Tak harap Rizal je tanya soalan. Rizal dah kekeringan soalan pada waktu dan saat ni dah. Belum start lagi, Rizal dah kering lah dengan soalan. So kita mendoakan Azrul, Asma dan Hakim akan bersama kami sepanjang masa sehingga habis. Tanyalah Hafi tentang apa pun. Dan Hafi, what is our topic tonight?
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So terima kasihlah si Azrul, Hakim, kita punya Puan Asmah dia ada regular. dia show her interest to basically to learn and all this sharing kan. Dia Riza came back because we talk about personal branding. Sekarang ni dia punya we go little bit deep macam mana kita nak manfaat personal branding. Manfaat. So that means the technical know-how little bit lah. Macam mana kita nak, because branding kan ada kita punya personal image, ada personality, kita punya ability, knowledge, skill. Lepas tu we are managing the perception of the people toward us. So sekarang ni macam mana kita nak manfaat. So kalau kita kata kita nak manfaat, basically we talk about methodology lah. Metodologi macam mana kita nak manfaat to be benefited of personal branding. What came to my mind is very reflection what I've learned so far lah. Dia macam kita buat bisnes, ada material, ada method, ada money, ada manpower. When come to branding pun kalau I ingat, kalau I tak lupa lah, dia ada 5 pillar of kita build kita punya personal branding. So dia tak lari nombor 1, I duk contiang tadi orang-orang I. We must number 1, we must think about the market that we want to be in. Itu penting. The personal branding basically we want to portray our services, our product or whatever that we want to do. Kalau you are a resource person, kata learning facilitator pun sama juga. Kita tak boleh lari ya. So dalam bisnes ni ada 2 kategori aja. You either sell tangible product or you sell services is part of the product. So kita kena number 1 dia ada 1M, we call it market. Number 2, I put here is the message that you want to pass across. Another M. Number 1 market, number 2 messages lah. Number 3, what is the meaning of your message? Kita kena portray the meaningful message tu. Lepas tu we must look at the medium. Medium ni I think mula-mula when we talk about personal branding, we talk about communication tool. Communication tool now is the medium lah. So far kita pakai so far ni banyak social media. Yang mana orang tu buat branding tu. And the last one, of course we have to invest a little bit the money. So dia ada 5M lah. 1 market, 2 message, 3 meaning, 4 medium, and the last one is money. Even though Facebook pun kita kena bayar. Even though apa-apa tool yang kita pakai pun kita kena bayar. So kita tak boleh lari, the last one is the money lah. Tapi when come to the money, yes, I agree lah. In business, it take money to make money. Kita tak boleh buat kata tak ada duit nak jadi money, itu susah lah. So this to start, ini yang when come start, when Ridha said we must stop within this. So how are we going to leverage ataupun how kita nak bermanfaat, kita kena ada 5 pilar ni lah, 5 pilar 5M ni. I think it will not be wrong lah kalau kita pakai 5 ni about how we want to outreach ourselves to create kita punya unique selling proposition about ourselves. So this is the 5M to start with.
So bila kita cerita tentang market lah, Tuan Syed, dalam bahasa orang lain mungkin siapa kita punya customer?
Pasaran lah.
Pasaran kita, siapa customer kita, siapa audience kita. Dengan kita mengenal pasti siapa audience kita, pasaran kita, market kita, maka kita tahu macam mana nak susun strategi. Okay. Alright. So untuk contohnya Hakim, apa kita tanya Hakim, apa dia punya pasaran, apa market dia? Hakim ada market ke dari? Bukan pasar dekat Seberang Jaya, itu lain.
Oh, lain
Itu lain, itu belikan.
Okay. My market dia ada 2. Satu is a training provider, how I can sell my services to them, and then the other one is the public lah, direct clients. So for the direct clients, I memang aim for HR punya managers, HR punya personal lah. So that's how I put my market tu lah.
Okay. So market Hakim dia dalam bentuk orang, contohnya
a group of people.
Provider adalah orang yang akan tolong canangkan produk dia kepada korporat-korporat contohnya. Lagi satu adalah memang directly kepada orang korporat-korporat ni contohnya, atau orang individu contohnya yang nak belajar daripada dia. So itu market dia. Alright. Puan Asma, siapa market anda?
Market saya adalah Asma adalah satu pada usaha nita lah, usahawan usaha nita, dan juga yang kedua lebih kepada direct client juga. Bila diorang dah masuk dalam satu kelompok program yang kecil yang besar, dia akan lebih kepada perseorangan punya klien juga.
So, bila kita usaha wanita, itu bukan mekanik individu atau usaha wanita yang datang daripada satu jabatan ke, contohnya. Yang datang daripada satu jabatan ke kumpulan wang.
Betul.
Individu. Tapi di sini ada beza sikit. Puan Asma punya market, Tuan Syed, adalah lebih ke arah keusahawanan. Ya. So, yang mana satu market ni sebenarnya, Tuan Syed? Adakah kepada kelompok orang, adakah pada bidang? Apa yang maksud Tuan Syed market di sini?
Kalau I duk nampak apa kita punya Puan Asmah punya selalu live lepas tu Facebook dia, dia kena narrow down sikit. I think kalau bagi I lah, if I may kalau boleh narrow down sikit. You see, usahawan ni dia macam homogeneous, nampak macam very big group. You kena, in marketing dia panggil STP, segmentize, target and positioning. STP dia panggil, STP, bukan minyak STP tu, minyak motor STP. Segmentize, target and positioning. Dia kena macam tu. Kalau kita buat macam homogeneous secara at the end of the day susah kita nak measure, nak follow up. Kita kena lower down a little bit. Even though orang kata dalam kalau kita belajar pemasaran ataupun marketing pun dia suruh kita segmentize. Kalau tidak kita susah nak, satu nak follow up, dua kita nak monitor kita punya marketing effort tu whether kita tercapai the return atau tidak. Katalah satu live you buat, you don't expect so much, tapi kalau 3 datang balik kat you, follow up with you, I think you punya key result area tu dah tercapai dah. Pasal you tak measure, you buat broad macam tu. Tapi kalau you measure, kata di satu produk ni you buat untuk usahawan yang jual kata kain baju, contohlah dia orang ni kan fast and consuming product. So you fokus dekat satu produk. Tapi kalau katanya you buat cara broad, dia ada dia punya disadvantage. Disadvantage tu kat kita lah. Kita buat the effort in term of kita punya emotional labor, kita punya time, tapi kita susah nak follow up. Kita kena tunggu orang panggil kita baru kita tahu kita punya key result area. So the best thing is kita kena narrow down. Contoh macam Hafiz, I kalau boleh, I tak nak work with training provider. Because there will be a conflict of interest. You see, some customer may call me. Kebetulan customer tu panggil Azro. Azro is a training provider. Dia pakai profile I. Dah jadi 3 kali dengan I. They call, say, apa? Dia tahu saya, you ni merata ni. Merata, what do you mean? Kami ni pun ada profile you. Kami ni pun ada profile you. So, you when I say segmentize tadi tu, ini yang jadinya. Kita ada conflict of interest satu. Don't mention about kita punya return investment lah. Kalau kita buat direct, return investment kita, in term of cost kita, price kita, margin kita tinggi. Tapi kalau kita go to the third party, and then kita punya margin rendah. Tapi the effort, the time, no decrease, sama je. So, itu yang Cik Rida tanya tadi. We have to decide lah what product we represent, how we going to put our market to in the right channel with the right target market. Kalau tidak nanti orang tengok dia ni semua jadi master of trade, master of none.
Okay. Kita kacau tuan saya sikit. Kerana Izzat tak pernah nak fokus market tu. Kerana Izzat berpegang kepada do not put all your eggs in one basket. So daripada start business sampai ke learning juga, Izzat ada basket di kilang, Izzat ada basket di sekolah, Izzat ada basket di corporate. Izzat ada bakul di Bangladesh, Izzat ada bakul kat Vietnam, Izzat ada bakul kat Izzat merata. So kalau nak kata audience atau market, kita tak pernah ada satu yang segment ties, tak pernah satu yang fokus. Itu satu. Nombor dua, dari segi produknya pun Izzat bukan buat motivasi je panjang. Ya. Izzat buat motivasi pun ada, Izzat buat NLP pun ada, Izzat buat coaching pun ada, Izzat buat macam mana nak jadi macam Rizal pun ada. Produknya sendiri pun ada sampai 14 jenis yang pelbagai. And to me it worked. I mean 14 tahun punya kewujudan is to me bukti that it did work. Yeah. And tak pernah dalam this is my business model lah, you know. I never follow up, meaning to say did I do well? Well, I did well. Kalau dia datang balik, kalau dia tak datang balik, I cari customer lain, you know. Okay, so I'm just giving another perspective lah, Tuan Syed. I'm just being yes, apa yang Tuan Syed tu said betul, works. At the same time, there's this other guy nama Rizal who's been doing totally opposite, and it works juga. You know? What do you think, Tuan Syed?
Yeah, bagi I, as long you got the return, you got the market, you got the customer, dia tak ada isu. Dia tak ada isu lah. Because you see, kadang-kadang strategi, metodologi, approach kita, apa pun tak apa. because it doesn't fit one for all or all for one. You know? As long we get the customer, we get the return, and you are happy about it, customer are happy about it, there's no issue. Cuma kita satu yang kita kata talk about positioning tadi ni, we want to see that kita punya strategi, we are differentiate ourselves from others. People may see you because based on you punya core result area, jadi you punya product by itself. Berapa orang yang contoh you, berapa orang yang buat SOAS, berapa orang yang buat PLS, berapa orang yang buat apa orang kata take charge. So you have already create. Kalau you tengok balik 14 tahun, 15 tahun yang dulu you buat, you just move into the market without knowing what to do. You based on the response of people come back to you. Tapi now kita dah aware, the market are saturated. Every day people are producing a lot of new learning facilitator. Every day people producing a lot of marketeers. People are leaving the salary job, become our team, be like us. So, you see, the branding ni basically dia punya principle is to differentiate you from others. Then orang tengok you punya branding. Kalau tidak, dia jadi Hakim sama, Hafi sama, Adro sama, Asmah sama dengan semua orang tahu.
Ada sekali tu Hakim ni, kerana dia dah pandai take charge, malah skrip keluar daripada mulut saya pun kadang-kadang saya terlupa skrip Hakim dekat audience tu dia boleh sambung. Punya dia terror, punya dia hafal saya punya skrip tu.
Berzikir.
Berzikir mengigau. You know? And walaupun itu berlaku, Rizal punya kalender tetap penuh. Walaupun orang pergi masuk program Hakim kata ni macam bunyi macam sebiji macam Rizal. Tapi Rizal punya program masih kekal penuh, you know. So nak kata you know, okay, so mungkinkah Tuan Syed, mungkinkah walaupun kita kata market message meaning medium money adalah pillar dia, ya, tetapi adakah mungkin tang message dan tang meaning tu Rizal ni lebih daripada tang market dan benda-benda yang lain yang menyebabkan Rizal alhamdulillah masih boleh hidup lagi walaupun si Hakim tu tiru sebiji-sebiji, ya, sampai dia kita dia pun sekali, you know. Adakah mungkin kerana message yang Rizal bawa atau meaning yang Rizal bawa bersama tu menyebabkan Rizal ni masih boleh, alhamdulillah masih boleh kekal lagi? Adakah mungkin kerana one of those pillars lebih kuat daripada yang lain?
Yes, maybe. You see, macam 2 minggu yang lalu we talk about when we say personal branding, basically we are managing the perception of the people in their mind. See, branding it can be very subjective, you know. And then minggu kedua pula Afi pula cakap personal branding is not about product or services anymore. It's about your heart, your passion. Then orang nampak. You're authentically, you're genuine, that you really want to tolong orang. Ada orang nampak that you are. Kalau you put Rizal, you put Hakim to do one particular program, at the end of the day, Hakim will achieve about 70%. When you do yourself as the founder or the creator of that program, you will achieve basically 92%. We will not get 100% because the mind of the people are not the same. Kita dah tahu kan orang belajar pakai VAK ni tak sama. Kan mungkin dia seronok kau ni, kawan ni seronok kau ni, kawan tu seronok kau ni. Mungkin seorang tu kata dia seronok tengok Cik Rizal selalu pakai baju Cina. Dia datang nak tengok Cik Rizal. Tengah orang tu dia kata dia ni punya style, dia suka, dia pandai buat joke, sense of humor dia very good, tak mengantuk. Maksud dia duk cerita tak mengantuk, bukan nak belajar pasal tak mengantuk. Itu can be very subjective. So kalau you put the message right, your methodology right, your meaning right, actually that's what dia kata, go back to kita punya core area lah, personal branding. Personal branding basically, what different to one person is we must create the differentiation of one to another. Kalau we look at the strategy, kalau betul nak go deeper lah, ini deeper pula. We either go to the focus market, or we want to go to differentiate market, or we want to go into a cost market. Cost market ni you jual murah, macam Air Asia lah. Dia cost market, dia kira awak. Siapa yang nak murah naik Air Asia. Delay 6 jam tu tak apa. Janji sampai rumah. 6 jam duduk airport tak apa. Tapi kalau katanya you want to differentiate yourself from the cost market, you must add service value. Sama dengan kita, kalau katanya we go into for the certain target market, satu dia premium sikit. Dua, dia orang pun masa nak buat training pun dia pilih tempat yang best. Tengok setengah-setengah orang dia go 5-star hotel. Yang premium tu. Kita dah boleh nampak lah orang ni dah orang premium, they willing to pay. So they also, they differentiate the category of the learner. Dari situ kita dah boleh tangkap.
Nak tanya sikit.
Yo.
Out of apa kata daripada kita cerita tadi kan, daripada 5M ni, my personal view lah, bila kita tengok the soul of this 5M ni terletak pada meaning M. Maksud dia kita punya macam ialah macam apa kata Tuan Syed sebut tadi, last 2 week ada sebut pasal personal branding and what not apa semua ni. In order for you to sell yourself kan, ataupun your product, you punya product must carry your message kan, through that meaning lah. So dia kalau you ada dia punya the value ataupun tu roh dia tu ada kat situ, then apa kata meaning comes into place kan. And to further enhance your deliberation tu, kat situlah datang you punya medium. Tu yang orang boleh, tu yang kata mungkinlah orang tengok kata Rizal dia punya appearance dengan baju Cina, baju kungfu dia tu kan. Kata Azrul datang dengan sungkuk tinggi lah, dia punya penampilan dia macam tu kan, nak cover kepala butak tu kan. So dia punya apa kata orang selalu cakap apa kata you always come with a good first impression. So that is your the way you carry yourself, which is number 4 lah, communication daripada segi macam mana membawa tu.
That will be medium lah.
That's the medium, but that medium carries the meaning. Betul tak? Macam what do you say bang?
Ya, betul. Dia market message medium money ni dia tak ada kata sequence ni must come first, sequence tu must come first, tak ada. Basically when we talk about branding or maybe advertising or promo, the 5M ni basically dia orang pakai lah. Metodologi dia tu dia pakai lah for branding or advertising tu, macam media, meaning dia. Kita tengok macam contoh Samsung. Samsung bukan ada apa-apa, dia punya logo Samsung habis. Ya, tapi orang tengok Samsung tu orang dah boleh tahu dah. Macam-macam. Fridge lah, TV lah, radio lah,
electrical product lah kan.
Azrul cakap tu betul. Ini kita cakap tentang konteks orang learning facilitator, tenaga pengajar. Tapi kalau dia jual benda yang tangible, benda yang nampak, dia punya positioning mungkin different. Kita tak tahu, orang jual kedai makan pun positioning dari segi cleanliness, dari segi location,
sedap tak sedap.
Food presentation, itu yang kata logo dia, apa yang dia jual. Lepas tu last week we talk about what we say we must deliver. That means kita punya promise. So everything is about right. Tak ada katanya
dah Tuan Syed sebut Samsung tu kan, pantang bila sebut Samsung tu. Samsung tak ada meaning.
Sebut Apple.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Apple lain cerita. You know, bila kita sebut Apple kan, dengan Steve Jobs dia I mean he brought meaning. You know, dia masukkan roh tu ke dalam produk tu kan, which made it very special. Yeah. Samsung copy, yeah. You know, Samsung tak ada meaning. Okay. So we going back on what Azrul said. Tertanya dalam kepala, kalaulah kita jumpa usahawan yang baru nak start kan, apa nasihat kita untuk kita macam mana nak create meaning? Apa nasihat kita kepada dia? How to create meaning for yourself and your product? How do you create that? I mean, it's not something that you can like baca dalam buku kan Tuan Syed. I mean, how to create meaning punya buku mana ada? I mean, I don't think you have that.
Off the cuff. Kalau dia tanya I jawab senang je. You do what you promise. That is the meaning.
Do what you promise.
You do what you promise.
If they don't know, if they don't even know, then how are they going to promise? Tuan Syed? I mean, to me, a promise is like a contract already you have, you know, and then the contents of that contract too is the meaning, kan? So kalau orang yang tak ada ujung pangkal, you know, about what branding is all about, and then bila kita duk sembang-sembang tentang kita kena letakkan maksud, kita kena letakkan makna dalam produk kita, dalam diri kita. How do you create meaning?
As I say lah, cara what I would do to him. Kita duk cerita ni when we basically we have gone through the odd. Dia pula start with one clean sheet of paper. Serius, orang clean sheet of paper je lagi senang. I jawab kat dia, katalah 4M meaning apa ni? Meaning katalah you akan hantar barang 2 hari lepas order. Lepas order tu you make sure you hantar. That is the meaning. Mungkin orang meaning tu basically halus sikit lah. Halus sikit nak dapat orang punya understanding. That he be able to build satu relationship, build the trust of people. So that is the meaning bagi I. Bukan the meaning yang dia broadcast besar-besar tu tak ada. Kalau tidak dia tak ada meaning.
Contohnya Puan Asma adalah orang yang akan supply ayam kepada supermarket. So dia mungkin start, you know, sebagai orang yang dok supply daging ayam kepada supermarket. Dia kan mula macam tu. Dek kerana dia supply on time, dek kerana dia supply bagus kualiti ayam tu, maka dengan sendirinya meaning tu wujud. Begitu Tuan Syed.
Bagi I.
Okay.
Maknanya dia bukan apa dah. Maknanya orang take it very spiritually, trust dia. Because dia orang yang ada makna lah. Dia orang bahasa kita lah. Jadi memang ada makna cara kasar lah. Makna dia cakap tu apa yang dia buat tu dia janji dia buat. Macam mesej. Kalau orang buat broadcasting dalam kata apalah, dalam signboard apa-apa, kadang-kadang orang tak faham the meaning apa dia cerita dia. Great way to fly, proud to serve you. Now everyone can fly but get delay. Something like that, apa meaning dia?
Okay. Mungkin Tuan Syed dia chicken and egg lah. Yang mana dulu, yang mana kemudian kita tak tahu sebenarnya. You know? Adakah kita wujudkan meaning on a piece of paper to letak dekat produk kita, atau kita letak meaning tu kemudian, ya, maksudnya kita wujudkan produk, buat produk, pergi jual produk, dapat customer, pergi jual produk, kemudian letak meaning. Okey ni contohnya Tuan Syed, macam dulu beberapa hari lepas lah, saya pergi ke Lulu, ya. Habis tu nak beli ayam dah frozen kan, beli ayam. Kemudian isteri saya ambil ayam pandan. Saya kata, apa beza ayam pandan dengan ayam yang lain-lain kan? So isteri saya kata, ayam pandan ni adalah ayam yang diternak, tapi diberi makan yang khusus, yang bersih, yang berkhasiat. Dia punya pemakanan dia. So saya kata macam lembu wagyu lah. Dia kata macam sebiji macam lembu wagyu. So ayam pandan ni macam ayam wagyu lah. Yeah. So di sini the orang yang jual ayam tu, dia dah letak meaning tu dalam ayam pandan tu. Dia dah letak dah kat situ. So itu yang membezakan dia punya ayam daripada ayam orang lain. Kerana ayam orang lain makan biasa, semua masing-masing dah delivered fresh and whatever it is. It's just that pemakanan ayam pandan berbeza daripada ayam yang lain. So di situ kot meaningnya dari segi produk meaning.
Mungkin we can relate to the experience of the people. The experience. Macam kita pakai, macam you pakai komputer, you tak berubah brand lain dah. Because Apple mean a lot to you. Okay. Mungkin some other people pakai other brand because they is a friendly user. Apple is not that friendly user. No. Silap software.
Apple for special people je. Orang yang bukan Apple tu yang kata dia susah. Orang yang level makam tinggi.
I rasa semua to simplify the perkataan meaning tu basically is the experience itself. Baru ada makna. Jadi kita kalau kita experience satu services, kita pakai orang yang services ataupun satu produk tu, yang kita experience ni, benda tu yang dah menjadi satu keyakinan kita, yang buat apa dia tulis tu, makna tu basically mungkin subjektif or not, tapi experience dia yang meyakinkan dia dari segi produk dan dari segi people itself. That's what I think the meaning. Kalau kita simplify, make it simple lah. Kita jangan pakai bahasa buku lah. It's the experience. That's what. Kalau orang yang experience dengan kita sekali, people will come back again and again. Itu maksudnya. Of course, kita punya content must be reliable, must be genuine, must be delivered as promised. Itu yang kita kata last week. It's all about building the trust. The credibility itu tadi. Branding is all about people trust you.
Tuan saya dah tengok Kak Roslan dah buka mic tu, dia macam sila atau dia nak tanya soalan. Either one lah.
Sila. Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me? Saya ada masukkan dekat I also teringat yang Oprah cakap, my choice to do the right thing and excellence created the brand. When you are excellence, you become unforgettable and people remembers you. Okay, coming to apa yang Rizal nak kaitkan dengan Rizal lah. I think Rizal dengan Mak Long ada persamaan. The way I see you and me, the way I see it, my perspective, we build trust. Sebab Rizal has been there. Contoh kat Facebook lah. Sama je Rizal yang tu lah. Cuma dia grow lah. I can see it growing over the years. I think I did the same also by chance. Saya tak belajar banyak. Tapi as I go courses later, actually I did the right thing. Like kalau nampak Mak Long yang kenal, what do you see? How do you see? And what is it? Macam you nampak saya apa? Rizal, what do you see Mak Long?
A person that I would ask for advice. A person that I trust enough to ask for advice.
Oh, great. Alhamdulillah. In terms of my like, I do training also. In what part?
Childhood education.
Yeah.
For Mak Long is childhood education.
But
known for that.
Tapi I'm very distinct from others. Yati is here. Yati knows I'm very distinct. Yati boleh cakap ke kat situ? Yeah, I'm more on parenting on early years. Contoh, okay, in the market in Permata ramai Yati ramai. Tapi yang buat parenting sangat sikit. I am very passionate. I write about it, For years I've been writing kan. Orang tak baca pun tulis je lah. I'm not as popular as Rizal. Tak ramai-ramai. I don't have that many. But I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Because but now, since PKP, I'm quite so-called orang cari. Now only, Rizal. Now only. But mainly, maklum tak buat duit pun on parenting before this. Kalau bayar pun dah lah. But I do pemata basically because that make my brain better lah. I nak cari duit. Yang tu, that was my passion. I write and write and write. You all know that. But now, somehow, it's fruitful. Yeah, alhamdulillah. I didn't see that coming, yeah, because that COVID thing and everything else.
Okay. Since we brought that up, from me personally, you came up. I mean, you started to be noticed from my point of view when you changed to Maklum.
Oh,
when you went to Maklum, when you were Kak Rosnah, I was like everybody else. Like, okay, Kak Rosnah is a childhood educationist and she's based somewhere in Kuantan. Full stop. You know. But
Faham ya. Orang teringat faham ya.
You know, when you became Maklum, then for me personally, I was saying, oh, okay, she's
it is a brand now.
Exactly, yeah.
Maklum tu dah jadi brand.
Yeah, I use it as a brand. Yeah,
and
I brand it.
You call yourself Maklum, and then I started reading what you wrote, you know, and then, because this Maklum seems to be somebody yang I need to listen to, and I started to read, you know, and I started to take note. You know, because to me that Maklum ni it's a kick something inside me lah. And I was saying I need to be attached to this lady, you know, to get advice. So in this particular case here, you've been writing all this time, true, fine, and it was there, yeah. But when you became Maklum, then people take note.
Rizal, so, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead Azwar.
Tak, ni with regard to Maklum lah kan. Betul, memang bila sebut apa kata Maklum tu, it will associated with parenting, with childhood education. Orang rasa macam dekat. And the thought and the urge to explore more tu datang. Especially for those yang mencari on that subject matter lah.
Exactly. And I am thankful actually that you called yourself Maklum. You know why? Because many people call themselves bonda and whatnot. I tak nak. You know why? I have my own mom. I will not call you bonda. You know, so I was very thankful that you for one reason or another you chose Maklum, you know, because I felt attached to that. So that branding to me gave meaning to me. It helped me be one to attach, make me want to attach to satu. Another thing which you became very different from all these other people who was parenting is you spoke in English. This Maklum speaks in English, which is my natural language. Yeah, I am the very beginner.
Oh, that is a selling point also, is it?
It is to me. It is to me. You know, which you know, if you were to ask me, but if you don't ask me, I nak cakap juga. You know, you should be starting to attract people outside of Malaysia lah.
If I may, Maklum, bila you guna pendekatan speaking in English, you attract the young parents nowadays, the modern parents yang dia rasa macam anak pun kena speak kat rumah, those kind of thing kan. So the marketing tu, it works in a way.
Interesting. Menarik.
I nak pinjam Maklum punya apa? The doing of Maklum lah. The doing of Maklum.
The making of Maklum.
Maklum tak realize what she have done for herself, which I want to elaborate a little bit. Tadi when we talk about the 5M, we talk about the 5 pillar of personal branding or how we want to leverage. Okay, now dia punya strategi. I agree dengan Maklum kan. Now dah Puan Rosnah panggil Maklum, I panggil Maklum juga kan. Dia ada 4 strategi. I just want to articulate. For the short while, I dengar Maklum cakap ni, I articulate the strategy. Number 1, bagi I, Maklum tak pakai the traditional punya media. Maklum pakai number 1 strategi dia, she write.
Yeah, I have a blog.
I see publication. That is the best. Number 2, Maklum create her own content.
Yeah.
2. I see. 3, Maklum dia buat apa-apa bukan dia dapat apa-apa. People do things, people do pitching. Maklum build relationship. Build the trust. Maklum build the trust, it take time. Problem kita ni, jadi usahawan kecil ni kita tak sabar. Kita hari invest, besok nak return. Ini problem lah. Lepas tu, Maklum satu lagi yang saya tak nampak Maklum. Number 4, the strategy Maklum is the headline. Maklum kena create the headline.
Okay, high time.
Headline tu maksud dia macam ni Maklum. Macam Samara, Hafi, dia buat apa tau? Passion energized solution. Because I am passionate to train people, I create the solution for them. So they give me problem, I create the solution. So dia jadi I punya tagline atau my headline, Samara. Betul. So sekarang ni dengan short while ni Maklum, I can articulate you punya approach. You ada 4 strategi, cuma 4 tu tak ada.
Okay.
The headline, Maklum kena create satu headline. Apa-apalah you must create lah. Dia tak datang spontan lah benda ni.
I have one empowering you.
Empowering you.
Itu yang leadership. But for parenting, I nak buat Baiti Janati pagi tadi, itu ingat.
Baiti Janati.
Dia menjadi Maklum, I suggest satu
itu
je.
Ustazah Maklum.
Ustazah sikit lah. English lah.
Buat macam ni lah. Buat. Ya, I belajar, sorry dah. I came from the airline. I duduk balik, reflect the airline. Si Singapore Airline tu split dengan Malaysian Airline, MSA time 1972. I join 1977. Sampai sekarang, the great way to fly tu, I dah 63 dah. The great way to fly. Orang lain tak fikir orang lain lah, Singapore Airline. So sekarang ni, Maklum kena create satu tagline yang people equate to you. Tadi I duk sarankan dekat Puan Rosmah, Asmah kita pun sama. When you do anything, you create the tagline so that people come to you. Oh, sebut this tagline. Ini Maklum ni. Tak ada orang lain dah. Kita kena create.
Is that tulis kat situ, close to your heart? I don't know why. But I feel, to me lah personally, you know, when you became Maklum tu kan, I felt close to your heart.
Yeah, thank you Rizal. That means a lot. I just nak tambah satu yang can I ask, I tambah satu perkara yang I've been learning yang I tak nampak sangat berlaku dalam trainers. I'm focusing on trainers. We keep on selling, tapi dulu because I did it by chance until I went to courses. Sebenarnya by chance apa yang Maklum buat adalah I build trust through writing, sharing my knowledge and skill. Yang penting skill, knowledge tu banyak you can Google. I always do my when I write my apa yang berlaku, my what I practice with my children before, then sekarang anak orang ke siapa-siapa lah. And then I kaitkan dengan theory. I write without selling, and I don't sell. But later, when I put something, then orang datang because the trust is there. I see that a lot of young orang yang nak baru masuk lah, dia asyik jual aja.
Ya, memang. Pandai.
Thank you, Riza. I think you dengan I yang selalu menulis lah. Riza dengan I antara yang menulis, betul-betul menulis lah.
I have a book dalam almari ni, Selling Sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm exactly the same. I don't sell, I mean I share a lot of things. I hardly sell. I share a lot of things. I tell people a lot of things, sometimes right in their face, you know. I hardly sell, and that's the way to do it. So with all this that we've been talking about, your branding dah strong, and to me,
I can feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just wanting to like encourage you to go beyond borders now. I mean, you have your own podcast, kan, Kak Rosnah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maintain that. And then what you do is connect yourself. You've done things with Hajah Annie, kan?
Yeah.
Okay, so Hajah Annie has that network in Indonesia and in Australia and stuff like that. So connect yourself with her. I mean, do more talks with her so that people get exposure to you. And then as you go, because on that particular day which I saw you and Hajah Annie, then I didn't see you connect yourself. I mean, didn't see you say, you want to know more about me and stuff like that.
No, I didn't do that. I don't want to do that.
Go to my podcast, which is free.
Tak confident lagi kot to go there.
Bangau tak. You are very confident person. You are there ready. This is that. Take advantage of what Hafi was talking about when one of the pillars of a good brand is the medium. Okay, and you can you're doing your blog. That's one medium. I don't know. I belum tengok your blog ni, but I don't know whether on your blog you say, you want to listen to me instead of read. Here's my podcast. When you do all those live kind of thing, at the end you just mention, this is my podcast, that you direct people towards there, And then when you have that audience, for example, my podcast, I have people from Australia, from Indonesia, from Russia. Orang Russia pun cakap Melayu. I don't know what somebody in Russia who speaks Malay and somebody in Germany who speaks Malay is following my podcast, And I say, oh wow, I'm going beyond borders with this Malay podcast. Now, Kak Ros, you've been doing what you're doing in English, so you should be going beyond borders. You should be touching people's hearts beyond borders. So I'm encouraging you to do a bit more. Yeah, encouraging you to do a bit more. Yeah.
Rizal.
Cuma satu je.
Hang on, Hafiz, bagi Azrul dulu.
Alright, sorry.
Azrul, sila.
Alright, thank you. A bit sidetrack, but quite related juga. Professionally, I do talent management. Kan? What we are talking about sekarang ni, about creating podcasting, writing lah, apa benda semua ni, is actually part of knowledge retention tau. Kan? Knowledge retention, knowledge expansion. So people will, kalau nak cari subjek tu, people will go through all these resources, cari buku, cari penulisan, cari artikel, cari podcast, those kind of things. And in fact, Azrul ni pelik sikit. Dia memang betul-betul jack of all trade. On the side, I'm a professional writer lah. Tapi I'm a ghost writer. I'm a ghost writer. Orang suruh tulis pasal keto diet, I write for keto diet. Orang suruh tulis pasal SAP system, I write about SAP system. Orang suruh tulis pasal SME in Malaysia, kan, small medium enterprise in Malaysia, produce 64 pages about SME in Malaysia. I mean those kind of things. So we're talking about writing. Why I like to write is actually the more you tend to write, the more you tend to read. Bila you read, you tend to know about lots of things. So that is why personally lah, I don't limit myself lah. Kata write on management je ke, macam lama-lama I pun bosan kan. Write about sports je kan, macam jiwa dan raga pasal sports kan, macam lama-lama kita sendiri pun nak a bit of pieces of everything. So read. So macam exactly what Mak Long doing. So bila you write, at the same time you outreach kepada orang juga.
Yeah.
Kan, people read your writing kan. But in my case, people don't know that I'm the one producing the writing.
Yeah.
Those yang hire me get the credit lah ada. But to me, I don't care lah. Macam some people tanya, kata, when are you going to publish? No, I write for money.
Terus.
Okay. Right, thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Azrul. Thank you. Tuan Syed, sambung.
Ada, I just want to add yang Mak Long cakap tu. Cuma satu aja, the personal branding, whatever that we want to do, jangan tunjuk dekat orang that we are doing the pitching. People may switch off immediately. Pitching maknanya kita duk hambat sale. We don't want to be a hunter. It's better be a fisherman. Sabar, akan ada. Hunter ni dia akan tahulah, being hunter is looking for people to get thing done or maybe buy dia punya produk tu, dia do pitching. Yang I duk nampak tu banyak, sorry lah, my perception, I may be wrong. In the Facebook, or people do pitching banyak. It's not about building relationship with people. Dia buat webinar ke, dia buat apa, at the end of the day, dia tuju kat kita, mula-mula bunyi sedap kan. 45 minit free. Lepas tu buka-buka price lah, 2,200. Itu basically pitching. That's why when people do webinar apa-apa, I am very careful whether I want to attend, not because benda-benda macam ni lah. Dia tak cerita semua pun kat kita. Dia duk cerita kulit bawang je. You see? Dia tell what, dia tak cakap why, dia tak cakap how. So all that pitching. So when we go back to personal branding, avoid do pitching. That's why I tak pernah buat pitching apa-apa kat siapa. Kalau ada tu ada. So personal branding yang saya faham, Acik boleh try to avoid do pitching because people will be able to see whether your genuinity is there or not. You write consistently, create your own value, create your own image, dan orang nampak, wah dia ni betul-betul satu consistent. We talk about consistent last week. And then lagi satu dia persistent, dia steady je. Consistent tu keep on moving. Consistent tu dia maintain dia punya stamina, spirit, energy. Then orang nampak dia ni betul-betul reliable. Then orang datang kat kita, dia takkan datang immediate response. You don't know, when we put our mind as a salesman, when we want to get 5 customer, 1 customer, it takes us about 5 times to visit that particular customer. I think ini I baca buku The Best World Salesman, Joe Gerard. Dalam buku dia, dalam dia punya tape, now CD, dia cakap, in order to solicit 1 sale, we have to basically build scene, interface with that customer 5 kali. So now kalau katanya kita buat pitching, dia nampak macam kita tu nak on the spot. Tapi kalau kita build rapport, build the trust, build the credibility, and then the integrity that we are genuine, orang suka benda-benda macam tu. Successful people macam Rizal lah, Cik Nadrin, orang kita yang agak ada nama dalam industri belajar dia lah, latihan kan. It's not one day. When you look back, dia orang punya history, I always think, it's not one day yesterday. They was starting from 2006, 2007, macam Cik Nadrin cerita. Same thing to Rizal. So we jangan compare the success factor orang tu ini hari. Kita buat ini hari, so lusa kita pergi terekam orang tu kata, you tak beli produk apa-apa. Tak boleh. Then orang tu nampak switch off. Once dia nampak switch off, then you push them. They don't like to be pushed. They want us to pull cara kita.
Tuan Zaid, saya nak when you talk about consistency and authenticity, I nak attack Hakim sikit. Hakim dia ada apa Hakim dulu kau punya ni Power Ranger, apa kau punya?
Ranger.
Apa Ranger?
Life Ranger. Ya, Life Ranger je lah.
Life Ranger. No, Love Ranger pula. Life Ranger.
Love. Itu tajuk hari Ahad, bukan hari Jumaat. Jangan salah forum, salah forum.
He had that. You know, I'm saying had in past tense ni, betul-betul past tense ni. But I don't see it anymore. he had that, you know, Life Rangers, dia ada baju dia memang background scout, you know. And then benda tu hilang. And then you see this usahawan, you know. So to me, the usahawan thing tu has eclipsed dia punya Life Ranger, Power Ranger punya suit, you know. which I personally find, you know, sayang sangat. You know, he had something good, he had something big. So apa nasihat Tuan Syed kepada ni? Because to me, I think okay, ini kita belum tanya Hakim. This is me, you know. Hakim went on the usahawan punya path tu because he needed to survive. That's him being the Life Ranger. He needed to survive. He need money to come in. So apa kata aku tompang dengan this usahawan punya project, and he went on that path. So Life Ranger punya baju tu dia pergi hantar kat Dobi, tak ambil daripada hari tu. You know? So okay, let's tanya Hakim. Why did you change? Okay, I mean you had something good, but then you went on usahawan punya path.
It doesn't change. Usahawan only recently je sebab we need to promote for one class too. Then I was doing Life Ranger punya every day. But then the program that I'm attached to the everyday punya program. So memang after class tu memang tak ada masa nak tengok malam tu apa.
Which we forget about Life Ranger. I think I'm the only one. Azrul tu pernah dengar Life Ranger si Hakim ni?
Sudah lama.
Belum lagi.
Dari sih. I'm sure Maklum pun tak pernah dengar.
I nak suggest kat Hakim, and everybody lah, I mean, kita punya family ni, bagi I lah, the way I look at the world lah, a successful educator, regardless lah, trainer, coach ke apa, dia mesti ada dia punya own content. Kalau dia tak ada dia punya own content lah, I short term dia gain, long term dia loss. I would suggest, when I say this, I believe in this. I was doing, or I am doing. I have my own content. I tak pakai content orang. So now the point is we must create our own product. So the own way we position. I sampai sekarang, you tanya I nak faham Hakim. I tak faham Hakim lagi tau. Dari I kenal dia.
I pun daripada dulu.
Tak, because dia scout satu, lepas tu dia buat e-marketing. Lepas tu dia buat usahawan. Okay, I duk fikir siapa sebenarnya Hakim ni? Bukan apa, tak salah buat Hakim. Because when we think we have to survive. We have to survive. The bottom line, we have to survive. Tapi at the end of the day, because you are growing younger, I would suggest you, number one, have your own content. Do position yourself. What is your SME? Your subject matter expert. So that orang nampak you. I sampai sekarang, walaupun I call dia main dulu I call you kan. See, I call him personally, one-to-one. Try to understand, tanya dia, give you dia. Dia bukan apa. My interest is there because I nampak he's young, he's caliber, boleh percaya lah. Nak kena test lah. Cuma I tak nampak dia di segi positioning.
Tuan Syed, dia belum kahwin lagi. Tak boleh percaya lagi.
Okay. Tak apa.
Dia tak ada credibility.
Itu yang penting lah. I mean everybody lah, not only Hakim. Maklum pun sama, I pun sama. We can go into the path of our interest, our passion, but we must basically position ourselves well. Because I think kita dah identify 2-3 kali kita cerita, in business ke, in lifetime doesn't wait for nobody. Every day we are losing. Lagi lambat kita create kita punya value proposition, lambatlah kita dapat kita punya return. Itu yang I think very crucial lah bagi I, because apa, I think I tempuh juga.
Saya setuju Tuan Syed, you know about creating your own content. I mean that's what I've been doing all this time. In fact, orang nak tanya saya, Tuan Syed, awak Rizal kan tak jadi NLP trainer? I mean, you're NLP master practitioner dah. Kenapa tak certify?
Awak tak jual
I
NLP.
don't do that. Yeah, I don't certify that. You know why? Tuan Syed? Kerana I know if I go out and learn how to become NLP trainer, when I come back, I won't do it as per that NLP trainer punya standard. I will come up with my own thing. I will probably come up with my own thing. I cannot copy other people punya work. I cannot match. Bukan I cannot. I don't want to match other people punya product. I would rather come up with my own one. So contohnya macam, you know me that I've been learning from Joe Navarro, kan, body language, kan, and I still have one more paper to complete with him, and I was already saying I nak come up with my own thing lah. And I have. It has already started. Me coming out with my own thing. It's still based on what I learned, but it's not as per his standards. It's not as per his syllabus anymore. It's coming out with my own thing. So I totally agree dengan Tuan Syed bila kata, everybody has to have their own product, own module.
Because apa dah? Kita boleh belajar all this concept, the 5M, kita pergi marketing cerita ni. Boleh. Tapi at the end of the day, when you are on stage, menyanyi lagu, kata apa, lagu Seroja, contoh. Kalau kita nak ikut SFND nak jadi menjadi, memang tak boleh lah kan. Tapi seni kata tu bunyilah. Nada dia bunyilah kan. Tapi cara dia tak boleh bunyi. Tapi kita ni, kita kena tak boleh deny. Ini satu rezeki yang Allah bagi kat kita. Kita have our own charm. Our own charm. Our own attribute. Okay, pakai perkataan attribute lah bagus sikit. Our own attribute. Kalau kita nyanyi skrip tu, kalau you nak buat macam orang kita belajar, pun tak sama. Tapi kita punya charm sendiri yang orang nampak. I tak tahu orang, kalau kita dapat matured participant, 15 minit dia cerita whether you are genuine or not.
Tuan Syed, macam tu lah kot. Orang dah kata some singers, amateur singers, sings better than the original singer.
Betul.
Sebab dia bawa lagu tu dengan cara dia sendiri.
Betul. Macam kita belajar ni, apa yang kita duk share apa semua tu, konten tu bukannya konten baru. Macam Afi cakap 5M. Kalau you go master of marketing, they will say, yeah, Afi, you are right. Takat konsep tu aja. Tapi to institutionalize, nak jadikan satu tool ataupun skill, itu pandai you tu. Kepandaian you sendiri. Macam kita belajar lah. Semua orang pergi sekolah, belajar degree lah apa. Lepas you belajar tu, you buat apa tu, itu adalah you punya skill sendiri. Bukannya buku lagi dah. So sama macam kita, branding macam mana. Kalau you choose tu pakai baju Cina macam Cik Riza kita, Hafiz choose tu pakai kain kaki dengan baju biasa, itu dia punya style macam tu. Tapi when come to the spiritual part of it, dia punya passionate part of it or delivery ke apa, tak ada orang boleh ambil dari individu tu.
It does come with, sorry, maklum sekejap kan, saya nak tambah. It does come with some risk, Tuan Syed. Ya, contohnya, saya pernah ditegur secara face to face. Kenapa Rizal keluar satu produk namanya Soif Coach ni? Satu, Rizal tak ada latar belakang coaching langsung. Apa standards yang Rizal pakai? International standards mana yang dia ikut? Ni Soif siapa bagi dia kuasa tukar SWOT jadi Soif ni? Saya me being me, Izzah kata lantaklah kau kan. As long as ada orang nak belajar daripada saya cakap kepada orang yang nak cakap dengan saya lah. I do not I do not answer to anybody. Ya. Dan untuk Izzah pegang pada tu. So nasihat saya kepada kita semua, tuan-tuan perempuan, bila kita keluarkan dengan konten kita, kadang-kadang konten kita ni lain sangat daripada orang lain yang akan membuat orang lain tu rasa macam hang ni siapa? Even waktu take charge dulu, awal-awal waktu Liza start business, Liza keluarkan program take charge dan Liza punya fee ialah 1,000 sehari. Ya, RM1,000 sehari, dan dalam sehari itu Liza boleh cover lah apa yang klien nak, dan klien semua duk hantar program hantar partisipan kat saya kerana saya tak bawa orang pergi 3 hari 2 malam tengah hutan, tak payah pergi jauh-jauh, dalam bilik latihan dia dah boleh selesai, 1,000 pula sehari. Mai trainer-trainer hak lain tu tanya, dia kata, you are spoiling our market. Saya kata market saya okey, market korang yang salah. Market korang tu yang ada masalah, market saya okey. So kita nak kena ada that ketabahan to protect your product, to protect your brand, to protect the way you do things. Selagi apa yang kita buat tu halal, jalan. Because there will be risk. There will be people yang coming kata, ini apa ni, bangau-bangau ni haram ni, contoh. Yeah, you must hold on to something. Kalau tak, kita ni akan easily sway. Ya, ikut-ikutlah orang, kita jadi part of them again. Ya. Pak Long nak cakap apa tadi?
Oh, ni nak tanya pendapat lah. Because is it because kita semualah, kita has to start somewhere dan kita mencari-cari because kita nak kenal diri kita, betul tak? Once, because you exploring. I pun pernah ikut Rizal, ikut Abang Smart lah, but I tak. I am not saying that I'm less or you more, but I'm just mencari. But I respect my teacher lah. But I ambil juga your take charge, but I do it my own because I cannot deliver yours. I tak boleh jadi macam Hakim tu. I cannot, Hakim, sorry. I cannot like emulate I just cannot. I'm one person yang I jenis kalau orang kenal Maklum macam Rizal sikit. I'm a bit I think I'm right. If I'm not benda yang halal, I answerable, not answerable to people, but answerable to Allah. Satu lagi nak tanya, is it because kalau orang yang selalu macam tak nampak ni, dia mengejar, bukan membina. For me, it's building. Kita nak build. Building tu lain. As you go, you build. Kalau mengejar ni yang macam, yang dikejar tak dapat, you kena mencirai, and then you don't see. Is that right? What the way I see it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
okay,
bila kita kejar-kejar ni, you want to learn from that person, you want to learn from this person because you feel that person is better. You are already good dah, You want to hold on to that. Can you improve? Of course, you will always improve based on feedback, based on what you learn, and you will improve and improve and improve. Yeah. I setuju sangat Maklum, kita ni bekerja-kerja, kadang-kadang tu kita tak tahu apa yang kita kejar. Saya pernah jumpa sekumpulan orang yang asyik belajar daripada this famous person, yeah, and they spend $1,000 until the question I asked, so when are you guys going to start on your own? I mean, you still learning ke? Yeah. Which then knock their heads, kata, bila kita nak start ni, asyik duk belajar je, duk bayar je, tapi tak really start. So yeah, start somewhere, please.
I boleh tambah sikit lah.
Boleh, silakan.
Nak jawab, Maklum ada dua reflect in my mind. When come to learning ni, Maklum, we learn from everyone, follow no one.
Oh, okay, good one.
That's what I practice. I learn from everyone, tapi I don't follow no one. Because my genuinity tu, itu yang personal branding tu, authentically, dia kata authentically itu, you yourself must be genuine what you do. That means you must be sincere what you do. Jangan ambil, especially sekarang ni banyak Google thing. People are very smart. Tiba-tiba you tunjuk lah orang punya. That's one. Orang dah nampak the trust is not there. Lagi satu yang kejar-kejar being a hunter and all those things tu, tak apalah, be fisherman lagi bagus. Maklum. Contohnya, when I first started this little company of mine, 3 years, 4 years ago, I wrote to all corporate company. And some of them are my ex-customer. Out of 16, 2 aja yang respon. Out of 16, 2 yang respon. One respon tu, I cakap kat dia, boleh tak I datang office you besok? Lepas tu, dia kata, boleh tu saya. Kalau pukul 10 datang. I pergi tu, I peluk dia. I peluk dia, cakap Allahu Akbar. I tepuk dia 3 kali. I whisper kat telinga dia, Allahu Akbar. You know? I cakap kat dia, you adalah satu pegawai yang beramanah. Beramanah pasal apa? You respond, you respect I sebagai orang yang kontraktor. Kerjaan tu wawa kita support the kontraktor, tapi I tulis 16 tak ada siapa respon. You aja 2 orang respon. Maknanya you betul-betul nak tolong orang macam kita. I sebenarnya I nak tolong you balik. You nak buat apa? You nak suruh I buat apa? Dia nak macam ni. I kata tak apa. You bayar berapa apa I buat. Because I nak tolong you balik. Because I want you to look beautiful. I look handsome. Okay, I am handsome. You are beautiful. Sampai sekarang ni, maklum, dia masih pakai saya. Pakai. Tak banyak pun, at least dia bagilah setahun 2 kali. Dia siap hantar dia punya competency. Dia kata, Tosai, saya tinggi kat Tosai. Lepas tu baru saya cadang kat bos apa yang you buat. So the point is this. Not everybody will basically entertain you because everybody say they are busy with their world. The more technology come in, the more people will be busy because they are playing with that technology. They become technology trap. They think they are very good in technology. Bagi I is a social magician. They got no content in their mind. Dia playing around only je. They got no content. This called social magician. I come up with that word. Kalau yang genuine tu, dia betul-betul nampak message you sekali, dia pun waktu dia very clear. Dia nak tolong manfaat dia punya jabatan. Dia tengok kita pun sincere. Dia ada satu silaturahim yang betul-betul kita buat kerja kerana Allah lah. Kalau yang duk main ngerang minta quotation, apa pun tak ada. 3 kali pandai-pandai lah maklum dia kata matahari maklum bubuh bila bulan ke apa ke. Ada juga orang macam tu, saya jawab very polite. Dia bagi this date, saya kata saya ada program. Dia bagi that date, saya kata saya ada meeting. Indirectly, I don't want you lah. So, customer is always right. Provided we get the right customer. We cannot pakai lagi customer is always right. Tak boleh pakai analogy tu. Customer is always, provided we get the right customer. Kalau right customer tu, I jaga.
Saya akan kata customer has rights. Customer is not always right. Customer has rights. Ya, macam mana kita sebagai consumer, kita have rights. Customer has rights. I'm with Tuan Syed in the sense that if you ask me lah, maklum, who's my teacher? If it's for a specific thing, I can tell you who my teacher is. Contohnya NLP, it will be Andreas. Body language, it will be John Navarro. But if you ask me, how did I become like this for 14 years? And you ask me, was there one specific idol ke atau teacher that you copied? I cannot. To me, everybody is my teacher. So I'm with Tuan Syed in the sense that I learn from everybody and everything. Yeah, but I set my own path. I make myself different. Yeah, and there may be things which is similar to me and Steve Jobs, for example. There may be something similar. You know, even when I watched Steve Jobs punya movie pun I kata, perangai sama lah macam Steve Jobs. But Steve Jobs is Steve Jobs, and me I have my way of doing things. Yeah. So dalam kita buat branding ni to ensure that our branding still comes alive and is not easily copied. We need to stick to our path that we make. Mak Saleh kata apa? Don't take the road usually taken kan. So you make your own road. You make your own highway. Will there be people yang akan bising tentang tu? Yeah, there will be people yang akan bising tentang tu. So what? As long as there's somebody who wants to sit in front of you and learn from you, you help that person. Yeah.
I setuju lah. Kadang-kadang kita jadi macam ni pun is a written path for us. It's a written path for us. Takdir membuat kita dorong jadi so-called peranan kita lah, role kita jadi menjadi. When I reflect balik where I started at early age, apa lepas belajar kerja mana macam mana, then I ask, how come I landed to be like this? How come? Tapi kadang-kadang fikir balik, ya Allah Akbar, mungkin dah ditakdirkan kecenderungan kita, minat kita, inclination kita untuk help each other tu. Of course orang kata, buat jadi trainer dapat duit, jadi dapat duit. Memang ada duit. Pergi duduk kat coket pun, kat tangga tu pun dapat duit. I pernah pergi duduk kat situ sejam, sebelah orang yang duk minta sedekah tu. I duk perhati dia, duk sambil isap rokok tu, duk perhati dia for 1 hour. Dia duduk situ pun dapat duit. I kira dekat RM30. Makcik tu bagi RM10, abang tu RM5, RM2. So pun dapat rezeki dia. So yang mana kita yang buat ni pun rezeki kita, tapi cuma yang kita kena jaga di segi branding tu, jangan kita money oriented. Orang tak suka. Orang tak suka money oriented. Ini pun tak boleh fikiran. You know lah, now everybody squeeze everybody now kan, with the constraint of the budget. Kita faham semua orang susah. Orang bagi apa-apa kita buat. Pasal apa kita believe, when orang panggil kita minta tolong, kita tolong sekarang ni, besok lepas senang tu minta. Kita minta, ya Allah janganlah lupa dah. Kita sama-sama susah. I always say like that kan.
Yeah.
Macam tadi kan, pagi dari Penang, Tuan Syed tolong buat ni, ketua suruh buat ni. Tak apa. Tapi bajet ni kurang sikit, Tuan Syed. Tak apalah, kita buat dah. Tapi ingatlah, cikgu, esok sedang sikit, jangan lupa pula. Tak lupa. Okey. Takat tu je. Stop kat situ. Kita cuma ingatkan dia susah, bajet constraint, kita buat juga. Pasal apa? Dia percaya kat kita, kita percaya kat dia. Kita duk nampak pengarah-pengarah kat belakang dia tu nak belajar. Jadi kita tolong antara satu sama lain. Cuma kita bagi satu keyakinan diri kita dengan keyakinan dia. Rezeki itu ditetapkan oleh Allah, kalau ada, tak ada, sudah. Cuma kita manusia ni, kita ingat antara satu sama lain. Itu je lah yang boleh buat. Janganlah lupa.
Kita dah sampai 10.24 ni Tuan Syed. Rasanya Udahlah tu.
Rizal, may I ask, saya nak tambah satu je yang I think related sangat-sangat. My personal so-called branding ni. I don't know what happened before my first class. Something happened to me that I went rock bottom at few times lah, but the second last rock bottom tu, maknanya kan ada training center kat Kuantan, Nimtin Tauri tu. Somehow I dah tak boleh survive, ada banyak sangat agencies. But then I think big. I said, I reflect, I cannot even go further with my own small agency like this. So what I did, I pergi pada semua universiti kat Pahang to offer them my experience so that dia buka agensi. So finally dalam banyak tu adalah satu yang UCYP tu dia ni, and I become consultant. This is where I become one step ahead by, I didn't see that coming, but now adalah few things yang I dapat yang job yang orang tak nampak tu lah yang alhamdulillah. So I think kita bila something happen always baca Allah knows kan, dia nak bawa kita tapi dia ada pitfall tu and then come back lah, and always trust that you have it in you, you are enough, but you have to progress, and always think that ilmu you ada ni boleh manfaat lagi, never give up insyaAllah. And support group also penting lah, insyaAllah. Tapi kadang-kadang when you hit rock bottom, you alone also kan. Yeah.
You mentioned it tau, Mak Long. You mentioned it. When you feel enough, anything else which Allah gives will be extra.
Right.
But when you start to say, oh, I'm not enough, have to find some more, then you will always go on that path of trying to fill up that swimming pool with water. You still think you're not enough. But once you start to say, it is enough, what I have is enough, then immediately Allah will give you whatever Allah gives you after that will always be extra. Exactly.
I setuju tu. Macam cerita tadi lah, kalau kita tulis 16, 1 jawab, 2 jawab pada cukup alhamdulillah. Isi 2021 ni kita gawat dengan MKP lah, MCO ke apakah. Ada 3 customer yang duk masih dengan saya tu. Saya cakap dia cukup alhamdulillah lah for support. Dia kata tak apa Tuan Syed, dia kata kita buat cakap mana kita boleh buat, at least semua pakat susah sekarang ni. So yang ini pun kita dah cukup alhamdulillah, at least kita ada something. The downfall tu Malong, I think that is quite normal. Every time that you being tested, there is always the learning part, the new experience that you encounter. Itu yang the best education that we ever get. That is the best in the world. The corporate don't teach me, the airline don't teach me, even though the university don't teach me, but the real people on the street teach me, the people in the market teach me how to do it right, to fit to their own need, want and demand. Itu yang the best.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you, Tuan Syed. I think that's a fitting closure for our session tonight. Topik. Okay, kan saja nak bising juga Kak Yati, and Hakim and Azrul and Mak Long. Sekiranya lah ada satu topik yang tuan-tuan perempuan nak kami cover next week, what would it be? Of the top.
Hakim.
Masih lagi ada satu perempuan tu.
Ni tanya Kak Yati.
Kalau Tuan Syed boleh kita tadi kita dah bincang banyak, kalau bulan depan pula kalau minggu depan kita boleh sorry sasul ni bau durian terlampau kuat sangat dalam rumah ni.
Oh janganlah sebut durian tu. You really have to sebut durian. Seriously.
Tuan Syed, kalau macam okay, right, sebagai kita usahawan, of course macam ke artis ni kan, kita ada training center. Bagaimana kita nak membuat kita punya nak menambah kita punya produk ataupun services, dan kriteria apa yang kita perlu tengok, macam mana kita nak ni, sebab selalunya bila benda baru kita akan ada investment berlaku di situ. Mungkin boleh kita bincangkan benda tu.
To invest or not to invest.
Could be that.
Well, in this case, Kak Yati dah invest. She has a place ready, and with COVID now, that particular place has, that particular investment has sort of,
duduk diam.
Duduk diam. We're not going to say go down the drain, belum lagi.
Belum.
It has freeze. It has stall. Yeah. So what ideas can we come up with? That's one topic. Thank you, Kak Yati. The rest of you, Mak Long, Hakim, Azrul, Puan Aisyah.
I would like to know, when do you throw the towel? Is that the word? Throw the towel?
Yeah.
When to give up?
Tak nak guna lah give up tu. I'm not giving up. I think it's not giving up. You just have to stop, because sometimes you have to take different direction. You're not giving up.
When to give up and eat the durian?
Okay.
No.
Different things lah. Ada orang memang give up, but I'm not saying about the give up thing. About kadang-kadang market is not there anymore. You have to move.
Sometimes you stop and change direction. Bukan give
Yeah.
up.
Okay, alright. Stop and change direction and
Sorry
go
dah
into
saya
durian.
Rizal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I faham dari Kak Yati, dia nak competitive advantage. Okay, competitive. Dia investment tu dah invest dah. Competitive advantage mean you are better than your competitor in the marketing term. Lepas tu maklum pula throw the towel. Oh yo, throw the towel bunyi takut. Throw the towel basically is a trade off. Trade off mean dua-dua you can only take one.
Yeah.
You cannot take both. Ini cikgu I ajar Michael Porter. Belajar dengan dia lah dua masa kat Filipina dulu. Lah, trade off. Strategy is all about trade off. Kita tak boleh ambil dua-dua. You choose one. You either make money, you gain customer loyalty. Or you make money, you forget about customer loyalty. Itu yang Hafiz kata, long term you lost, short term you gain. Short term you gain, long term you lost. So trade off. Is it betul, Maklum? Is it? That's what you have in mind?
Yeah, benda tu. Yeah. And then sometimes kan I pernah dengar dia kata, if it doesn't work, stop. Ada orang kata, go lagi. It's not right. You have to stop.
Kita Tuan Syed jangan elaborate. Kita ambil topik ni, Bu. Kita ambil topik ni, Bu.
Nak maksud I nak bagi the meaning tu nanti besok next week.
Okay.
Kak Yati dengan Maklum kecewa pula.
You nak check betul tak kefahaman dia nak check
Apple,
betul tak
Tuan Syed, you can only ambil one at a time. Kak Yati punya cadangan topik itu is one. Maklum
Ini
punya
big concept
cadangan topik itu jangan masalah. Ada tu. Okay, we have already two. Azrul dan Hakim?
Cadangan saya ambil dua-dua. Whether we want to diversify the income for the business yang sedia ada atau we throw in the towel. Faham tak? Whether you make money or you throw in the towel. Ada macam tu. Macam tadi tu dia dah ada investment apa semua kan. Just okay, sekarang ni dah ada training center, tak boleh nak bawa masuk orang. So how do I want to still monetize it? So means keep on going of the business. Atau it is time to let it go. Macam tu. Saya letak dua-dua je, senang.
yang mana masukkan
yang tu yang dimasukkan. There you go. Dia dah retweet dah, ada sokong. Saya dapat lagi seorang. Azrul sokong.
Sokong Hakim. Hakim teringat lagu ni, The Persimpangan Delima.
Aduh.
But you know why I agree? I see a lot of Taska Tadika dalam position ni Yati, yang dia go on sebenarnya dah suffer sangat dah. Dah korek habis, dah hutang lagi teruk. Dia punya health, dia punya benda. So for me, tutup tu dah seminggu. Kadang-kadang I belajar satu, dia kata menutup bisnes juga strategi bisnes.
Yep.
Betul.
Betul. Itu saya sokong Maklum. Do nothing is strategy.
That's a good one.
Not doing anything is doing something.
Do nothing. Macam saya, orang pupak dalam Facebook, pupak dalam DE. Saya baca, saya tak buat apa-apa. Because my strategy do nothing. Because I don't want to damage myself because I was hurry to impress them. So the best thing, sit, watch, read, do nothing about it. Don't even comment, don't even timbul because I read, I'm aware. I appreciate, tapi I do nothing. My strategy is to see kat mana dia orang punya momentum tu, whether they are consistent. They will flop like that. Then orang nampak they are not genuine. Be careful no. Sorry.
Kita sembang lagi nanti. Unless Azrul has anything. Azrul
ada topik apa Azrul?
Kak Azrul tambahkan, Hafiz elaborate lagi 20 minit.
So we stop here. Ya Tuan Syed, last one.
Ya, elaborate tu bukan apa, takut nanti ada anticipation was not there. Itu yang penting. Macam kita nak actually macam doktor lah, we have to ask question so that we understand to diagnose.
Tapi kan Tuan Syed, Kak Yati punya topik dengan Rosna, actually dia boleh recombine kan sebab macam
seperti mana Hakim cakap tadi tu lah.
Macam Hakim cakap. So mungkin kalau just nice.
kita boleh pakai macam-macam strategi. We can use growth strategy, diversification strategy, harvesting strategy. Kalau kita nak pakai pun kita boleh pakai BCG model. Saya tengok macam tu saya tahu BCG model. BCG model kan ada 4 kuadran. Betul macam Kak Yati cakap, dengan Mak Long cakap, dengan Hakim cakap tu betul lah. Cuma we want to put the context of sharing tu betul. Senang orang nak faham, jadi taklah berat sangat bunyi macam master class besok orang tak main dah.
Alright.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for participating. Terima kasih Tuan Syed with all your knowledge and advice. Thank you very much, Azrul, Hakim, Mak Long, Kak Yati, Puan Aisyah yang baru masuk, yang lain-lain yang dah hilang sekalipun. Terima kasih banyak-banyak. Ya, kita benda ni akan diuploadkan di PLF punya YouTube channel, ya, untuk tuan-tuan puan-puan rujuk balik sembang-sembang kami ni. Dan seperti mana yang kita lihat lah, sembang-sembang kita bukan sembang-sembang kosong, sembang-sembang membantu sama sendiri. Kalau kita ni tak bantu sama sendiri, siapa nak bantu kita? Dan kita pun nak bantu sama sendiri. Kenapa? Kerana kita nak berjaya sama-sama. Ya, semua orang nak pergi syurga, kenapa nak pergi seorang-seorang? Kita ajak ramai orang. So kita cadang-cadang supaya next Friday, ya, next Friday insyaAllah kita jumpa lagi. Terima kasih lagi-lagi. Assalamualaikum semua.
Waalaikumsalam. Jumpa lagi. Terima kasih.
Salam.
Thank you. Bye, Azrul. Assalamualaikum Puan Aisyah.
Maaflah saya, Assalamualaikum. Maaflah saya baru masuk, baru habis coaching dengan Iscan.
Tak ada masalah.
Next week nanti bagi link lah, saya masuk lah ya.
Boleh. Puan nampak link ni kat mana tadi?
Dekat mana ya? Pahang punya link wanita apa ya? Saya ada join last.
Okey. Itu Puan Asma yang letak di situ.
Dr. Shima ya?
Puan Asma yang letak
Puan
di situ.
Asma ya, betul. Saya dapat link dari situ. Tapi saya dah ada dua coaching malam ni. Aduh, cakap ruginya saya.
Tak apa. Puan Asma, bila tengok Puan Aisyah, bila tengok link yang Puan Asma share tu, ada satu bahagian kat bawah tu dia tulis kita masuk Telegram group. So bila Puan Aisyah letak masuk,
saya dah masuk tadi.
Okay, good. So kami akan selalu share linknya kat situ.
Okeylah, saya tengok situlah. Sorry, saya nak dengar juga tapi saya kena dengar coach one on one kan. Jadi dia buat
rakamannya nanti. Tengok rakamannya nanti insya-Allah.
Terima kasih Riza, jumpa lagi.
Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum. Salam.